Hey there, Mr. Landsman, cool guy. Hey, I got on a map today and Google Earth and all and checked out your area up there, Sheboygan and all that area up there, Mendota. That's pretty country, as long as it ain't covered in white. Yeah, I looked at all that stuff. Hey, Rob Fox, Tim. I don't know, Tim. Hey, Terry. I don't know anything about all that uploading, man. I just cranked it up. Wasn't nobody else doing anything. Thought maybe somebody might need a place to hang out for a while. I made some more fermented pickles today. Cucumbers. Made 3 quarts and a pint. Yeah, I was looking on the radar earlier, Lance. It was a bunch of snow in the United States in the last 12, 15 hours. Or the last 24 hours, actually, I guess. There's been some snowfall in this country. Yeah, I'm feeling better every day, Tim. I had a little spell with my back today that I had to take some ibuprofen and go lay down, and I don't even know why. It just, hey, Annette, don't know why it hits me like it does. I guess it pinches that nerve just right. But that old pain, it just, when it's just constant, it makes me sick in my stomach. I get queasy. And the only relief I get is just go lay down. And I got into bed at 5:30 and woke up at 8 o'clock, and I feel fine now. I mean, I can't jump up and click my heels or run around the block, but I'm not sick in my stomach and my back ain't hurting so bad. But that constant pain, it's worrisome, man. I did my MRI and hey, let me ask y'all something. The specialist down there in Jackson told me when I got my MRI to have him put it on a disc. And I got a disc. I got it. Got it. It's in there in the kitchen. Can I put that disc in this computer and play it? Wash and put a conditioner in my beard. Can I stick that CD in this computer and look at it? Hey, Cody. How you doing, man? Appreciate you coming in. I can. Okay. Indeed. All right. Well, I might do that. I have looked at an MRI one time, but I don't remember what it looked like. I wouldn't mind looking at it. I might do that. I don't know. I'm scared to do it because if I mess it up, I can't erase it though. I mean, I can't do nothing to tear it up. I don't believe. Well, if it was encrypted, would the specialist down there in Jackson be able to look at it, or would he have a pass code or something? Hey, Lucky. I don't know. I better not fool with it. I'll get to see it soon enough. I go on the 20th. Yeah, I'm gonna get this thing figured out. Something. I'm sick of all this pain. Ah, okay. Well, golly, if they don't give this man in Jackson the password, but we don't even know if it's. I don't think it's I think I don't believe it's secret. I think y'all probably right that I could probably just stick it in here and play it, unless meant the specialist didn't say anything about getting a password or anything for it. Just did with her MRI from shoulder apron being torn. Difficult to read. Okay, Cody. Okay. Yeah. Hey, Lisa. Long time no speak. Okay, Cody. Well, I won't gain anything looking at it then. I've seen enough X-rays. I can tell about the X-rays, but I hadn't. I saw an MRI, but I can't. And it was on my back too. But it was 7, 8 years ago. Yeah. Well, I'll leave it alone. Well, I'm guarding that CD, Tim, because I want that doctor down there to have everything he needs and be road ready when I get through with this consultation down there. Hey, Chuck. Oh, he just got the old man up, started alive. Wasn't anything else going on, so I figured folks was looking for a place to hang out. I kept waiting on Mark, but he never showed up. And I figured I would give y'all a place to hang your hat for a while. I watched Troy drive his truck. He done got good at that truck driving, but he like to ended up out across the cemetery and then like to run over a car in the curve there. That boy. I don't know. I don't know, CP. I hadn't read it. I got a copy of it, and that I carried to the doctor on the 20th. That he's already got the X-rays. They were faxed down there yesterday or day before. The X-rays been faxed to him, but I got to carry the MRI with me. I've had those too, Cody. Yeah. That's funny. My wife got, I believe it's her right shoulder. She got rotator cuff problem. And she doesn't got them stretch bands on the door. She does it pretty regular. And now her other shoulder's bothering her. So now she's stretching both of them. And I don't know why I guess just old age. Hell, she's older than I am. Yeah, I hope they get your wife fixed up too. But I don't know what it shows, CP. I hadn't seen it. I got a copy of it, that's all, to carry with me. But if it shows a better picture of those bone spurs down there touching, if it shows a better picture than that X-ray does, that's some kind of machine. Well, it could be. She might have. She ain't been doing it for 53 years. Yeah, she's fixing to finish up her 53rd year teaching school. This spring will be the end of 53. I made some more pickles today, CP. I found out, it's just a little information for you in case you decide to do something. The grocery store, no, it's just my back, lower back, Lisa. I got bone spurs, 2 bone spurs coming off of vertebrae and they touching. And it giving me a lot of problems. CP, these cucumbers you buy in the grocery store, they got one that's called an English cucumber. It's real dark green and it's extra long and it's basically seedless. And like in Kroger's, yeah, that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna remove them. I hope that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna have to do something to them. I mean, it's standard procedure to get them removed, especially when they're rubbing. Look, man, you know, they lay you on that board that put you through that MRI machine. And that little old gal that was running that machine, she must have weighed about 105, and she was about 5 foot tall. My big 230-pound butt. And I told her when she laid me down, when I got on that thing, I told her, I said, you got any help? And she says, no, just me. I said, well, we're probably going to get some help to get me up off this board now when I come out of this thing. I said, now getting down, I'm all right. I can get down on it and get screws around here and lay flat for a while. I said, but yeah, I'm going to have to have some help to get up because this thing going to be hurting when I come out of this tunnel. Well, sure enough, there's about 14, 15 minutes worth of stuff. Y'all know how that goes up in that thing. They'd run me back out into the daylight. And she said, are you okay? And I said, I'm fine. You know, and I had that little button. They give you a button to mash if you had to come out of there. I guess some people get claustrophobic or something. I don't know. It don't bother me. All that racket was what bothers me. It sounded like that damn machine finna fly apart and collapse on you or something. But anyway, I told her, I said, look now. I said, I'm going to have some help get up. I said, I can't get up off of this board. And she said, well, what do you want me to do? And I said, well, I reckon you better hold out one of your arms. And so she held it out and I grabbed a hold of her arm. And I said, you need to put your other arm on my arm. And when you count to 3 and then you start backing up and pulling and I'm going to come up from there. And look, this is funny now. I let out a war whoop at the back. It felt like somebody ran a damn hot knife right through me. And I said, oh, when I got up. And I had to stand up and bend over to try to get some relief. I mean, this thing, it hurts. It really hurts. I couldn't even feel my feet, my legs, nothing. That thing hurt so bad. And I stepped out that door, and there was this she must have weighed about 300. That lady sitting in a chair right there by that door. And her eyes was that big around, man. She was waiting to go in there next. And she didn't hear me let out that war whoop, and then she was having second thoughts about whether she was going in there. And I told her, I said, ma'am, that's just my back hurts so bad sometimes. I said, there ain't nothing to that thing. She said, she tapped herself on the chest. She said, oh, my heart beating so fast. Oh, man, I didn't think about it, but I guess it would scare the hell out of you if you hear somebody in there hollering like I holler. Hey, Rich. Yeah. Yeah, I bet it was, Cody. Lord have mercy. Yeah. No, you gotta be tough, Lisa. Yeah, you gotta be tough to get old. 3 hours, Lord have mercy. And I'd have to be on medication to stay there that long. But if you was all broke up, you probably had to have medication. Already was on some. But that thing tells you 12, gonna be 13 to 15 minutes. It talks, you got earphones on. And so I had three 30-second scans, four 2-minute scans, and two 3-minute scans. And that machine makes the gosh awfulest noise, and it's always a different noise when it's doing those scans. I mean, one time it sounded like somebody beating on the inside of a 55-gallon drum. And then the next time it sounded like it was a train wreck or something. And it's all different sounds and loud, good gracious. But this time I did open my eyes. Somebody told me before that keep your eyes closed, because when you open your eyes, if you're claustrophobic, that thing is close to you. And I said, well, I'm not claustrophobic as far as I know. And a few minutes into it, I opened my eyes, and sure enough, man, you close. But it didn't bother me. But I try to, when I'm going through something like that, I try to space myself out and just try to relax and put my mind in neutral. When it makes my wife, it upsets her so bad. She was with me when I went to have a colon operation, the cancer removed down there in Jackson back in 2013. And she was scared to death. We was sitting back there waiting on the orderly to come do whatever he was going to do. And I was laying up on that gunny up under a sheet, and they gave me a pillow. I had a pillow. And I went sound asleep laying on that gunny. That fellow, he said, Mr. Adams. And I heard somebody say, Mr. Adams, no, what's your date of birth? My wife was sitting right there on the stool in a chair. And what's date of birth? Date of birth, and I said 9/1/47. So he said, I'm in here to prep you for you. He said, you asleep? And I said, yeah, I was asleep. And my wife says, that's what he does. It just don't get so bad he can't go to sleep. And it seems like the worse it gets, he'll go to sleep quick. But I did that. I've done that several times. You just had to, man, when you get scared, I just say if I can go to sleep, maybe they won't wake me up till it's over with. That's what I always try to convince myself anyway. But even with colonoscopies and all that stuff, when they come in there to get me and roll me back there, I'm always almost asleep, sometimes sound asleep, if they give me a pillow. Yeah, that's banging. Well, what is that machine? It's about, I don't know, 2 foot around, wide, 2 foot thick, like a piece of a pipe, and it spins, and they run you through that thing or something or other, and it's got lights all on it. What is that? Is that a CAT scan? Is that I've had several of them. And you drink something that they ask. There's one of them that they say that if you take shrimp, that's just the medicine that stuff they give you. And sure enough, I'd always taste that shrimp. What machine is that? What am I having done when I had? Now I do remember one time I drank some nitro, not nitro, but radioactive stuff. Hey, Chris Everett, open MRI or CT scan. I bet that was a CT scan. Yeah, I believe that's right. And one time I drank that radioactive stuff, and it's supposed to show up arthritis everywhere. And that was a full body deal. Man, they ran that all the way past my head and past my feet. That was a different machine, I guess. But everywhere you got arthritis, it showed up. My right shoulder, right down under my neck, and my right ankle, it looked like somebody painted me. That was weird. That stuff showed up big time. And they put me on a drug called Mobic, Mobic, just a pill. And so I started taking it and talking to people, and a lot of people took it. And so one night I was in here on this computer, and I got to reading about the side effects from it. And I quit taking it. I probably still got some in there somewhere. I got plenty of common sense. That's the only kind of sense I got, Lisa. Lance, I was telling somebody one day, in my telephone, you look contact list. When I get the D's, I got so many doctors in there. So that's the first thing I do is put their phone number in my telephone. Dr. So-and-so. I got a list of them. It's so long, but when you start getting old, boy, then the doctors are your friends, I reckon. But I've been pretty lucky. That cancer deal, I got that abscess that like to kill me. This CP got the same thing, except his was in his backbone. And it did like to kill him. But yeah, CP had a bad time with his back, and his back, that hospital infection that you get, it was in his backbone, and that's terrible. The one I got was just a big old, about the size of a golf ball in my stomach, in my lower abdomen. But he and I went through the same process of trying to get rid of that infection, and it's tough. Yeah, of course, Charles has heard all the stories go. I think I went through the cancer stuff before he went through his back operation. But I had a 2-week checkup after the cancer operation, and I got to feeling so bad that I couldn't hold my head up. I mean, I was just sick. And the night before we were going down the next morning, they ordered a pizza. Yeah, I remember you had that. Yeah, I remember, Lance, you telling us about that. But I sat at the table and I got me a bite of that, and I love pizza. Man, I love it. And I chewed that pizza, and I had to make myself swallow. I was sick. And that pizza, I could feel it. It went down. I could feel it. It went all the way down. And when it got to the back of my belly, I felt it come right back up in that plate in a matter of about 4 seconds. I never moved my head. I was sitting there eating with my head down. And I swallowed it, and it went down and came right back out in the plate. Now I said, "Good God, I'm sick." And that highway is it's 100 and something miles to that doctor down there. And then drive down there the next morning. Every line, y'all know how you go down the highway and you hit them lines in the highway. You know what I'm talking about? Every time a car go over one of them lines, which was every second, I just say I can't stand another one. I cannot stand another one. Oh, I can't stand it. And I told Kay, I said, "You gonna slow this thing down or something?" I said, What's wrong?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "I think I'm dying." I said, "I can't be getting out of this. I feel bad." Well, I walked in that place. I got out of the car at the front door and she parked and came back and had a couple 100 feet to walk. When we walked, I couldn't even pick my feet up. I walked in there, and the receptionist saw me, and she got on that intercom and called somebody for a wheelchair. And they shot me down through there, and it was the lobby was full of people waiting to see the doctors. They run me back there, and then it wasn't an hour. I was in the hospital over there, and they was running all them tests and everything. The next thing I know, they putting a big old tube in me and all that to start draining. And good gracious, I had all them doctors, all them folks running around with them hazmat suits on. I said, I thought I was, and this is gonna be bad here. This ain't gonna be good. Hey man, first time I've been X-rayed in a hospital bed. They brought a portable X-ray machine in. Damn, I must be sick. One doctor and another doctor. I mean, I had so many doctors come in there that I don't even know who they were. But that damn hospital infection pretty bad stuff. And they was drawing blood every 4 hours. They put that thing in you up under your arm there. And they come in there and draw blood out of it. I believe it's every 4 hours. And then they bring another bottle of stuff and put up on that rack to start putting in you. And ain't nobody telling you nothing. You just there. Yeah, my wife went home. She said, "I didn't bring any clothes. I had no idea you were going to be put in the hospital. I got to go back to Greenland." I said, "Lord, that much." Yeah, it's every 4 hours. And I can't remember if they was giving me any kind of medication or not, or sedative. I don't remember. But even every 4 hours, you don't get any rest. You just laying there. But on about the third or fourth day, they come up with a antibiotic that started killing that thing, or whatever it did to it. And boy, I started feeling better. That stuff was going that jug of the plastic sack. And that thing started draining. I started coming back up. I could feel myself feeling better. Just that. I mean, it's just I could feel myself getting better. Hey, Dale. Hey, yeah. Hey, CP.
Hey man, how you doing?
Doing good, boy. Doing better than I expected to be doing. About 5 o'clock this evening.
Hmm.
What I was telling you about them pickles? Them English pickles they ain't no count for putting in a jar.
Okay.
and at Walmart, them English pickles, English cucumbers, I mean, they just laying out there. At Kroger's today, the English cucumbers, and I read this on the internet that they usually wrap them up in plastic, in cellophane.
Yeah, the ones up here wrapped in plastic.
Or don't use them. You can't do nothing with them. Get the other cucumbers.
Okay.
And I poured all them out that I had. Some of them were good, and some of them I didn't like eating them. I eat some of all 3 jars, and they tasted all right, but I didn't like the texture of them.
Turned to mush, didn't it?
Some of them did. Some of them were mushy. It still tasted good though. I mean, but they didn't have no seeds on them, and I don't know. It just wasn't. I just didn't like them. I didn't want to keep them. But and these were half gallons. And so today I went up there and bought 5 regular cucumbers. They big cucumbers, but they're not the English kind. And they made 5 cucumbers, made 3 quarts and a pint of speeders. And so I taste test them after 2 days by the recipe I use. But
because you know,
go ahead.
The cucumbers from the store, they don't do as good as if you got some out there in your garden and you go pull them fresh and make them.
Oh, I'm sure they don't. Oh, I'm sure they don't. You're going to just talk a little louder. You ain't loud enough.
Okay.
I'm sure they don't, but I ain't gonna have no cucumbers for several months, and I wanted, it cost them cucumbers was $4.45 worth of cucumbers. I have not, Lisa. That's the first cucumbers I ever used from the store, because I always raised my own, but we ain't raising nothing right now, and I wanted to try this stuff, learn how to do it, so that when it does come about this summer, I can make me some gallons. I'm gonna make gallons. But did you know you put a tea bag in the bottom of them bottles, CP?
Yeah, so it'll have some
tannin. The tannin.
It keep them crispy.
Right. You can use tea leaves,
tea bag, grape leaves,
and I'm using bay leaves. I put 4 bay leaves in each quart. So that's a lot of bay leaves.
And I didn't have no grape leaves, so I put muscadine leaves in mine.
I'll have to look that up, Lisa. Now, Reed up there in Arkansas last year raised a cucumber that was white. And that thing was pretty good. Charles, you fishing? If you're on the bank of the river, you're either on a towboat or fishing. Hey, Yak Shore.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I done gobbled on. I didn't eat any sauerkraut today. I sure wanted some, but I better lay off at least one day.
Well, look, Coach.
Yeah.
You were talking about that hospital infection.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I had my back surgery, and instead of getting better, I was getting worse.
Mm-hmm.
I was trying to make myself go, so I wouldn't get still. And I went to the store, and I got out my truck, and I couldn't make it to the front of the truck. So I just got back in the truck and came back home. And I was sick.
Yeah.
Felt like I was dying or something. I was bad sick, and I I was weak. And I went over there to the doctor's office and they did an MRI and they saw that stuff in my back. Well, they did the MRI right before lunch and the doctor was going to lunch and I was going to wait around till he came back from lunch, to look at the MRI and talk to him. And it was in my back was in such bad shape till the nurse made the decision to call the ambulance and get me to the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't a quarter mile from the hospital.
Yeah.
But they called me and took me on over to the hospital.
Right.
And they got a hold to the doctor and he met me at the hospital. And they did my blood work and stuff. And I had already explained to my doctor to start with, just tell me how it is. Don't be sugarcoating stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And they did my blood work and stuff. And he come in there, and he looked at it. And he told me, he said, well, I'm going to tell you something. He said, if you waited till tomorrow to come to the hospital, he said, I'm quite sure you wouldn't have made it.
There you go. Oh, I know,
Yeah,
man.
I was in a mess.
That hospital infection, that was way worse than anything that happened to me since 2013. That's the worst that I have had. I done had hernia surgery and all them damn colonoscopies and cancer surgery. But that infection, that I ain't never felt that bad in my life. Man.
And I didn't really get scared until I'm gonna tell you when I got scared. When they come in there and took my IV line out and replaced it because the stuff they was finna give me was too strong to go in the regular IV line.
Right.
That's when I got scared.
Yep. Well, I told you that when they come in there with that white medicine, and they didn't put that thing in my arm, they put it right up under there in that vent that they didn't put in there. What they call that thing?
Yeah, that's what they had in me, a PICC line.
PICC line.
And they took my PICC line out and put another one in.
Yeah. And I said, why y'all having it, man? I was laying there and they pulled it out. I said, why y'all doing that? And said, because this stuff here we can put in here a lot of melted us. I said, oh man, no. Now I don't know if that gal was being serious, and there was a doctor there too.
Well, I believe she was being serious. She had to be being serious because they told me the same thing.
Well, when that and it was all white.
Go ahead.
I said, and when after white stuff they put in there, that when it started draining, I started coming back. It was working, it was like It was working on that infection. Yeah, buddy. I said, man, this is crazy.
I had the standard tube in my arm. It wasn't it wasn't an IV. It was that thing where that tube went way up in you.
Mm-hmm.
And they came in there and took that out and put another one in, and pretty much told me the same thing they told you.
Yeah.
And that's when I got scared.
Yeah. I can't remember. All I remember was I can remember thinking that this must be some powerful. I couldn't imagine what it could have even been. I was trying to think, what they putting in me now? What in the world can it be that I was expecting to catch on fire or something? I didn't know what to expect. But when I started feeling better, all of a sudden I could feel myself feeling better. I said, that didn't make me no damn difference what it was. They've been putting gasoline in me. It was making me feel better, and yeah. But when them folks coming there with all them suits on there, that shook me up. That's what shook me up about all of it.
So they were suited up from head to toe.
I said, what in the world? What's wrong with me? I was quarantined and all that mess.
Yeah.
Oh, we done.
And then my wife came in there and doggone they had us suited from head to toe. I like, oh Lord.
Yeah, man. And they get you up And I don't remember exactly when they got me up. Hey, Tasha, I can't remember if they got me up pretty immediately or it was after I got the feeling better they got me up. I can't remember. I think it was after I got the feeling better the first time I went outside the room, walking and pushing that thing on wheels with all that
That
medicine.
pole.
Yeah, that pole. And they have a nurse if you weak like me and you was. They had a nurse holding on to me. And they had
Yeah.
all them damn signs on that door out there. All them doing kind of warnings and everything. And I said, y'all, these signs been up here all this time. They said, yes. I said, Lord have mercy. I'd have died if I'd have known all that, man. I'd have had a heart attack.
Yeah.
I
Had
didn't know
signs
it
on both sides of the door.
all out that, man. And I don't remember. I wish I'd had a picture of them. But Lord, I said, good
And,
gracious.
and
But that
mine even
hospital,
got so bad that, I was on that stuff. I was on that stuff every 4 hours for 4 months.
yeah, yours was really, really serious. I mean, mine was in my stomach, down in my abdomen, lower right abdomen, and
Hmm.
yours is in your spinal cord, spinal backbone, and so it just made it that much harder. I guess the blood flow wasn't good or whatever, and maybe it just wasn't getting in there good enough. But you need to go on and look into getting some of that padding shot up in there now, because that's probably pretty standard,
I don't think.
That's probably a pretty standard operation. It ain't no really, really serious stuff.
Well, after having that infection, I'm scared to let them do anything to my back.
Yeah, go to a new hospital.
Terrified.
Find a new hospital somewhere. Well, my infection was at one of the biggest hospitals in Mississippi. Okay, Lisa. Thank you, ma'am.
What is that?
Okay. That's the emails that Lisa sending me or Facebook
Oh,
messages.
okay.
Okay, thank you, Lisa. I'm gonna look at all that. Oh, Lisa, are you pickling cucumbers or fermenting cucumbers? Fresh granules by Hoosier Hill Farm. Are you fermenting or just hot bathing them, Lisa? Now she's done got out of the chat room. But yeah, I hope I don't go through no more of that mess. See, okay, Lisa.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can find it. Lisa, are you hot bathing or are you fermenting? Both use the water bath. Okay. See, all I'm doing is fermenting. I'm not doing any hot bathing. But you use that in both of them, huh? Both processes. I'll pass all that on to UCP.
All right. Well, look, I'm gonna
You
get
probably.
down from up here. I got to go get me a sandwich.
Oh, you eating You eating breakfast?
I'm gonna fix me a sandwich. No, I ain't eating no breakfast. It ain't breakfast time.
Oh, you just said, hey JB. Hey, look. When is William gonna run them dogs again?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I can find out. It probably gonna be sad.
Well, give me a little notice on it if you find out like tomorrow or Friday.
Okay.
I might if I feel good, because I can sit in the truck, can't I? I mean, sit right there in your yard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, Lisa.
Yeah, you sit in the yard and listen.
I'd love to listen to them. Yeah, and I bring a shotgun. I'll kill one running through the yard.
You might.
I don't know. We'll have to see. And then I got the feeling bad late this evening. I had to crawl around on the floor to get some jars. Kay got all the stuff I used on the lower shelves, and I had to get out on my knees. And I think that set my back off.
Mm-hmm.
Cause, and then standing up over there doing all that processing. And then I sat down there at the table to eat some chicken and dumplings. And I realized my back was hurting so bad, my eyes was dim. And I said, Lord have mercy. Because it's been getting better every day. And I got up and took me some Advil and went in there and got in the bed. So that's one good thing about my problem is if I can get stretched out, I can get some relief.
Mm-hmm.
Now getting up is hell. You done heard me
when
getting
I'm
up.
hurting bad, when I'm hurting bad, it don't matter what I do. It ain't no relief.
Yeah. See, I can get some relief laying down. But now getting up like when I was up at your place and trying to get up off of the air mattress. That's pretty rough stuff. Well, did he ever say what he said he was on the riverbank? Did he ever say whether he was fishing or not? Charles Viner? The 20th, Lisa. February 20th. And that'll just be a consultation, I'm sure. And then they'll set up, hopefully, pretty soon after that, he's scheduled. But it's Mississippi Sports Medicine down in Jackson, and they just built a new operating facility. And there's two guys in there that do backs. One of them's Calvert, Dr. Calvert, and the other one is Woodall. And they both come highly recommended. And Calvert's schedule was just a little bit. It was another 3 or 4 days before I could see him. And I told the lady when I was talking to him that, when I told my doctor that it didn't matter to me which one, the quickest one I could get to. And Woodall was the soonest one. About 3 or 4 days. So, all right, CP gone. Yeah, I'm confident that they will, Lisa. I got a good feeling about it. But I don't think what I got is this real serious, what you call serious back operation. Man, it's nothing close to the spinal cord. It's all out on the ends of the vertebrae. There's nothing up. My disc look fine. All up and down. They're all good and thick. And nothing. They look like. Of course, I don't know whether they're in line or not. But the doctors that I've looked at the X-rays with ain't said nothing about any of them being out of line or anything. JBT, don't be coming in there advertising. If I knew how to drop the link, I would, JBT. Maybe Lisa can do it. I'm just messing. You know I'm just messing. And I don't care what y'all put in here as long as it ain't too much porn or something. Yeah, that's what I kind of figured, CP. Some people told me they even got a process where they can dissolve those things. I don't know what they do. Put some acid or something on and let it eat them up. I don't know, but whatever it is, I'm sure they'll kind of tell me and everything. You know, I had that in 1968, and this was back in primitive surgery. My right shoulder, they had to go down and add calcium. I had a separated shoulder and didn't realize it. Broke my collarbone. They knew they broke my collarbone, but my shoulder was separated. I had a small gap, not a real big gap, but a small gap. And I was playing baseball in college, football. And I got to where I couldn't raise my arm up. And the pain was so bad. I mean, it was terrible. And so I went to Memphis to the doctor up there. And calcium had grown down in that socket, across the top of that socket, shoulder socket. And boy, that thing was hurting. And now, according to that crazy doctor that I had, he said, yeah, we're going to go in there and grind that stuff down. I said, man, it sounds like you working on a cotton trailer or something. Put a frame on a disc. He said, well, that's about what it is. And the funny thing about Dr. Sage, he was a general practitioner in the little town I was born in back in Mississippi, back in the Delta, where Archie Manning is from, Drew, Mississippi. The same town that Archie's from. And when I was a little baby in the late 40s, Dr. Sage was my doctor. I got a spider bite one time and a mule kicked me one time. And that's who they took me to both times, was Dr. Sage, Fred Sage. And he quit, he went back to university and became an orthopedic surgeon. And he worked at a place called Campbell's Clinic up there in Memphis. And back in the 50s and 60s and 70s, it was a premier orthopedic place in the South. And and I had been to him in the early 60s with a broken ankle that I broke twice in the same year, and the x-rays were identical. And that ain't supposed to happen, but I did it. And so that's how I got to be one of his patients. And he talked just like he was from Drew, Mississippi. He talked just like he was from Shelby, my hometown. He sounded, yeah, I know it still is. It sounded, I mean, that's just the way he talked. And loud mouth guy, boy, he was loud. I'll never forget. I was laying on that operating table waiting on him to come in there, and the door I was still awake. They hadn't given me anything. I was laying there with the bright lights and freezing to death, and them doors swung open on that. And look, man, I was 20 years old, I reckon, 18, 19, 20, 19 years old. And the door swung open on that operating room, and he comes down through there with his little mask and all his own, and he says to them nurses, and I'm just going to use the initials. He said, where is that SOB from Mississippi I'm supposed to cut on this morning? Oh, boy. I said, Lord, I'm over here, Doc. How you doing? I said, I don't know. I guess I'm doing about good as I'm going to do today. He said, all right, well, you ready? I said, I'm ready. He said, knock this SOB out. Man, I said, Lord have mercy. Now, that's the bedside manner there now. Knock this SOB out. But heck, boy, that guy worked on me about 4.5 hours. But and he swears he went in there with a grinder. Now I don't know whether he did or not. I know they had to. I know he had they took this muscle, they trapped is it trapezoid muscle? I think it's trapezoid muscle. When I was laying on that gurney, they had put a belt around my waist, some kind of a belt. Had it buckled and it had some rings on it. I could feel them rings down there. And I didn't ask any questions. I had never been operated on before. Well, after it was all said and done, man, I was so sore. I'm talking about I was sore. It would hurt to breathe. I was so sore. And I wasn't married at the time, but Kay did come up there to see me. And my mama was there. And I told Mama, I said, look, I'm so sore. Trapezius? Yeah, hey, Tony. Yeah, that's what it is. I said, Mama, I'm so sore, I can't hardly move. And they would get me up every hour or two and walk me up and down the hall with all them other crippled folks that was up there. And I asked that nurse, I said, how come I'm so sore? I mean, I've been sore before, but not that kind of sore. And she said, well, they had the trapezius, whatever that muscle is, so they had to stretch that thing out of there and tie it to that belt you had on. You had a belt on, didn't you? I said, yes, man, there's something down there. Yeah, they tied it off. I tied it off. Said, yeah, they had to get it out of the way so they could get in there and work. I said, oh, man. Tied it off. They talked like I was that gum sack of beans or something. Gosh. But I like Campbell's Clinic. In fact, if it wasn't so far, that's where I'd be doing this probably. But are they still in Baptist Hospital? They used to be on the 8th floor of the Baptist Hospital, CP. The clinic where you saw the doctors was in the lobby of the Baptist Hospital, I believe that's right. And then all the rooms, the hospital operating stuff was on the 8th floor. And look, on a Saturday morning, I've been in there several Saturday mornings. I've carried teammates up there, and I've been carried up there on Saturday mornings after football game. And you never seen so many crippled up young boys in your life as being in that waiting room. I mean, it was a monstrous waiting room. I bet it'd be 40 folks. Of course, we was in high school and some college boys. Well, a lot of college boys. Memphis State, Ole Miss, Arkansas State, Tennessee Martin, all them universities around there, Harding, all of them. And we'd all have a football jackets on, and all. It'd be like it'd be some pain in there, let me tell you. It'd be plenty of pain. Everybody that got hurt Friday night in the football game. And the college boys would just be from practice or just an appointment, whatever. But it'd be a world of high school boys in there. I bet I met some of them in there. I saw some of them in there that's on this thing right here. Okay, CP. I bet it's some of the same folks was in them waiting rooms back in them days. But they came from all over the country to go to Campbell's Clinic. Dr. Sage is gone, but his son is up there now. Somebody told me that his son is a surgeon up there. They made me after I broke that ankle, they made me a leather sock in that place. The two of them, they made me two of them. Okay. They made me two leather lace-up socks with silk with a silk thread to lace them up and tie it off with. I never taped my ankles after I broke it twice. I wore this, they call it a little boot, but it was like taping your ankles, except it was made out of high class leather and had silk shoestrings. I'll never forget that thing. Both of them. I wore them both out. And Dr. Sage told me that this was in 61 or 62. I was a freshman in high school and sophomore when I broke my ankle. Anyway, I broke it in my freshman year. I broke it in my first baseball game, and then I broke it my sophomore year, my last football game. So it was that far apart. Anyway, he told me that he wrote it all on the paper. He said, if you break this thing again, said, don't come back up here. He said, you go somewhere else. He told that right in front of my folks, and me too. And Mama said, well, what about him playing ball? I said, he don't never need to pick up another ball. He said, he don't even need to play tennis unless he wants to be crippled the rest of his life. But if he breaks this thing again, there ain't no need of coming to me. And I said, well, Doc, I said, I don't know if I want to quit playing ball. He said, well, son, I'm just going to tell you, you don't never need to do it again. He said, I'm being honest with you. And I mean, I know he was, because he's a straight shooter. I mean, anybody call you a SOB, where I'm going to cut on him. He said, I tell you what I'll do. I'm going to order. And him and my stepdaddy stepped outside. And then they came back in, and he said, okay, we're going to send you down in the basement of that place and have you fitted for a leather boot. We're going to make you two of them. And you wear that when you get up in the morning, you put that thing on, and when you go to bed at night, you take it off. He said, don't take no bath in it. He said, if you get it wet, change and wear the other one, let this one dry. He said, but you don't ever, if you wear, and they put me in cowboy boots, high heel cowboy boots, for, I don't know, I wore them all through high school. That's what I wore every day to school, was cowboy boots. So, I went to college, I was wearing cowboy boots. And my sophomore year of college, I started wearing just regular shoes. But I went through at least three pair of Justin cowboy boots with a high heel, the highest heels that they made. And then with that boot on, and played ball and played football and played everything, and but I wore both of them boots out. And years after that, my stepfather, I called him Bill. I said, why did he call y'all? I happened to think about the deal when I was in there talking to him about it. And they went outside, and he said, insurance wasn't going to cover this. And he wanted to know if I could pay for them. I said, well, how much did it cost? And them damn socks cost $300 a piece in the early 60s. It cost $300 a piece. Hey, Steve, look, $300 a piece, and I guess it's 61 or 62. Can you imagine that? And I was driving tractor for $6 a week in 62. I mean, $6 a day. I get paid $36 on Saturdays. That was a lot of money for that. But they worked. I never heard it again. Well, I never broke it again. But that Dr. Sage he was all right. And I'd have confidence in him with his back. Of course, I don't think he did that kind of stuff. shoulder. He was joint man. He did joints. Yep, that was a big place. One time I was up there, I carried a teammate. He hurt his knee. And of course, I've been up there so many times. I knew, if somebody got hurt on Friday night, Steve, you working tomorrow? I said, it's rained or whatever. No. Can you carry David to Campbell's Clinic? Yeah. Can you carry Billy Joe to Campbell? Can you carry Curtis? And so I know I took Curtis up there, and then I took David. I know it's two of them I took up there. Of course, it'd be a whole carload of us, you go up there and spend the day in Memphis. And the school pay for the gas and everything. We thought we was big time. And we was up there, and we was all sitting in the waiting room. David was back there with a doctor. $500 a dose every 4 hours for 4 months. Lord have mercy. Well, I never saw a bill on my abscess. I never saw a bill. Never even got a record. Never even got anything. They because it was hospital related, and we never got no kind of paperwork about it. No, it ain't alive. It didn't happen. But anyway, this was on Saturday, and it was crowded just like it was when I was a patient. And then with these guys, and I don't know who they were, but it was 4 of them. They came in, they went over to the lady there that let them sign you in and all, and they was up there selling blood on a Saturday morning now. And they were selling blood. So we were sitting fairly close, and we could hear. We was from Shelby, Mississippi, man. We didn't know nothing about selling blood, getting no money. So they signed up and did everything. They knew what to do. I guess they must have been from around Memphis. And they all went back there in the back. Man, after a while, they all 4 of them come marching out. There's one little skinny boy was in the back of the line. I'll never forget this as long as I live. This one boy put his slip up there, and they counted him out some money. And he walked, and he was putting his money in the other and the third one. All of them got their money. This fourth one, the little skinny boy, he went to put that slip up there, and he just went backwards and passed out cold as a wedge. And the other 3 run over to him, and he was laid out, man. He hit that floor just like a ton of brick. And the lady said, one of y'all take his money and drag him off over there, and somebody bring him some orange juice. And so they did. They drug him across. They just grabbed on his arm and drug him over there and set him up in a chair. And they was holding him in the chair. 2 of them was holding him. And in a minute, here come this girl out with a glass of orange juice. They held it up there, and he drank that orange juice. And he sat there about 10 minutes, and he was all right then. First thing he said when he come to, he said, who got my money? Lord, man, I don't want to ever get in that shape, but I got to sell my blood. But he went to put that paper up on that thing and just went right on back and hit that hard floor. They needed a mattress or something, because I know he wasn't the only one that ever fell out. Funny the stuff you can remember when you get to talking about things. Yeah, Memphis, Tennessee, boy, it used to be a great place to go. Man, we used to, back in 64, I guess it was, 65, 63, They had an amateur minor league ice hockey team in Memphis called the Memphis Wings. And we got, it probably was on one of them trips to the doctor up there. I can't remember how we got involved in it. But we went to the hockey game. I ain't never been to no hockey game. We didn't even know the rules. Look, and we were watching what was going on, and they better break out and go to fighting, and it was pretty cool. But so we got us it's a great place to get shot. Now I wouldn't go. That's one reason I didn't go to Memphis. But my senior year in high school in '65, I graduated in the spring of '65. Well, that winter, '64, winter '64 and '65, we went to 8 hockey games in Memphis. We were about an hour and 20 minutes. We could be sitting in the rink out there at the fairgrounds or somewhere. I couldn't even get to it now, but anyway, we went to 8 hockey games, and we carried dates up there on the Saturdays and go to a hockey game. And we got us a book and read up on the rules, so we knew the rules. And the second time we went, we knew kind of more about what was going on. And then by the third time we went up there, we were screaming and hollering at the referees and everything else. We knew the rules then. We thought we knew something. But boy, it'd be a crowd at them hockey games. It's the best spectator game that there is in person. You got to be there. The TV don't do it any justice. I don't watch it on TV. I can't keep up with the puck. But they were playing one Saturday night. They were playing Tulsa, the team from Tulsa, Oklahoma, and whoever won it went into the playoffs, whatever that was. And we bought tickets way ahead of time for this particular game because Tulsa and Memphis always, boy, they duke it out. They just thought there was 3 or 4 hours a number of fights. And we love that stuff, boy. And so we were there and head down, low seats right behind the Tulsa bench. And the Tulsa bench was to the right, and then on further down to the left, the Memphis bench. They wasn't on one side and the other. They side by side, but they separated. And the penalty box was on the other side of the rink from us. So they made a call down here on the right, and the referee made some kind of call. I don't remember what it was. But when the referee comes skating back down through there with the puck real fast, the coach from Tulsa, they bring all them hockey clubs and hockey sticks in a big old golf bag, big old round bag. And when that referee comes skating by his bench, he dumped that whole bag of sticks on top of his head. And that referee and all them sticks went sailing across that ice. He knocked him down. And and look, we were sitting 10 rows behind the bench, and we were sitting with all Tulsa, around all Tulsa folks. And it was Tulsa folks everywhere, and there were rinks that got that glass around. Them Tulsa folks come off of them bleachers and went out on that ice. They were serious business, man. They hit that ice and it was folks flying, and it must have been 300 out there. And then when all them folks got out there, right down here to the left, and when all the Memphis people out there. Well, we didn't go out there. I wanted to go. We wanted to go get in it, but we said, hell, this ain't, we wasn't going to get it. We wasn't that stupid. There was 6, 7 of us. Well, anyway, they was out there on that ice fighting. And I mean, the teams were fighting. The fans was out there fighting. Some of them grabbed some of them hockey sticks and flew out across there. They was having a brawl, and the referees run. They got out of there. And there wasn't nobody to stop it. They had to call out the Memphis Riot Squad. They fought for like 45 minutes. And they had ambulances lined up, and there's some of them folks got their heads busted open, and hell, they broke legs and all out there on that ice. That was the damnedest thing I'd ever seen. They was hauling people out there on stretchers, and look, the how many people that run ambulances are equipped to go out on an ice rink and get somebody on a stretcher? Yeah, they was hurting folks. I mean, they was having to try to get one of the players, after the ride to skate them to carry the people. It was a terrible. And I got to see all that and I was 17 again. As a 17-year-old, we sat there and watched that mess. I said, golly. But it was 500-600 people out there on that ice fighting, plus the two teams. And that glass, what do you call it? Plexiglass. I reckon it's some kind of souped up plexiglass. It's just temporary stuff. Keep that puck from killing somebody. They just knocked that stuff out into the rink and on out on that ice like they was reaching to go out there and do something. Well, the worst thing they could do is they couldn't even stand up. Standing up was about the best thing they could hope for. Or sliding into somebody from Memphis or a hit or something. I ain't never seen anything like it. And that ice was covered with blood when they got everybody up. They had to bring that, what do they call that thing? Zambui. They had to bring, after they got everything put back up and they had to bring that thing back out there and run it because there was blood everywhere. Oh, that thing, that lasted, it was probably 2 hours worth of delay in that game. And they finished it though. They went on and played it, and they didn't have no more. They didn't have any more rides, but had some more fights, but no rides. But if you guys that live in the north part, well, I guess they play everywhere now. That daggum hockey is a fun sport to watch in person. All right, Lance. Yeah, the Memphis Ride Squad come out there with all them uniforms on and them shields that they carry. And they came in from the other side. And I don't remember, probably 10 of them in front with them shields, holding them shields in front of them with all the garb on that protected. And you couldn't see them hardly. You couldn't really see them. You just knew what it was over there. It was the Ride Squad. And when they got out, they had to come out there on that ice. And they came straight across that ice, abreast, and split all of that crowd. And look now, there was 2 or 3 of them policemen. They had the Black Annie, and they were swinging that thing. And look, when they was hitting them, they hit most of them in the back or right here. That was it. That person was on the ice. Them things must be bad news, but they got across there, and then as they went, and some more came behind them. I don't know how many of them guys it was, but it was a bunch of them. And then they turned, and they scooting on that ice. They just barely moving. They can't do much. That ice must be slick as. Some of the guys at the end of the games, they would let you rent skates and get out there and skate. And I've been there with some guys that tried it. And they, shit, man, there ain't no way I'm going out there on that ice. You can't walk on it. You got to skate on it. But, yeah, that was quite an event. Of course, the next game we went to, we had 2 carloads of folks. All the guys want to go up there and see that thing. Yeah, that was something. It was all in the Memphis papers. Of commercial appeal. I bet I got copies of that upstairs. So we used to say the commercial appeal back in them days when it was something we wanted to know about or remember. I got the commercial appeal the day I was born up there. Mama kept that paper. No, that's why I was born in Memphis. But boy. That dadgum, that ice hockey is a fun sport. I can't remember the goalie's first name, but his last name, Jim. His first name was Jim. And I believe his name was Jim Gardner. Gardener. I believe his name was Jim Gardner. I got a bunch of programs up there in the attic. I'd have to go look. And then they had another boy that was two more boys that they did a lot of the shooting that were kind of stars, I guess you say. Gardner wasn't a goalie on the Olympic championship team, was he? I don't want to get it confused. I think his name was Jim Gardner. Boy, he was good. Big old tall, lanky boy. I forget. I don't remember who they were playing, but they was playing one night, and we were there, and the teams was fighting. Well, it never seemed like in that minor league hockey, when they fight, everybody fight. And they was punching all of them down the side, and the two goalies, I'll never forget, Gardner and the other goalie, they were on the far side. They done skated out of the nets over to the far side where they wasn't fighting, and they was batting the puck from back and forth to each other the whole length of that ring while the two teams over there fighting. Hey, David, they was knocking that puck back and forth to each other. I'll never forget that. We said, look at them two guys now. Everybody's fighting, and they over there batting the puck back and forth to each other. Yes, it was some good times. The great David Smith is in the house. And Jody, I didn't see Jody come in here. Yeah, I wish somebody else would come on back up here. CP, I thought he was in here for the duration, but he let me down. He had to eat him a sandwich. Y'all, there he is. There's the truck driving man. Boy, he
got your wish.
Made him some money today and didn't tie nothing up. Like to run through the cemetery.
Well, I just logged on and he said, well, I wish somebody would come up, so I give you your wish.
There you go. That's fine. Yeah, I saw you almost miss that curve at the cemetery and then almost run over that car. That car done stopped back and just sitting there waiting to get run over. Man, that choice.
Well, you know, at one wreck that I had, I hit that doggone barrier on that bridge. I thought I was fixing to go up the side of her.
Oh, man. Well, you
I've
did
been sitting around. You what?
I said you did pretty good, but they're looking at Siri getting a little late on telling you some of them turns, though.
Well, yeah.
I noticed that.
Yeah, she's a little bit behind the curve. Well, I've been playing a new game today. We're gonna play a new game tomorrow.
And you're gonna have a police chase.
Yeah. That's tomorrow. I've been playing that. I bought it day before yesterday. It's a lot of fun. I've been playing it quite a bit. If I can keep from wrecking the squad car, that's the thing.
Uh-oh. Well, you had to do all them chases and everything?
Well, I ain't had to chase nobody in the car yet, but I had to chase one on foot.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Well, what about you get the helicopter assistance and all that?
Not yet. They're adding stuff to that thing all the time. But I've been working on the drunks tonight. So.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. So actually tomorrow I'm gonna have a night shift tomorrow night. I just got done doing one night shift. It's pretty good.
Okay. I'll have to watch it.
Steve Locke. He said,
Yes.
good morning, Troy.
Yeah. Well, we got some rain down here, and I sent the hog leg a text this evening, asking was his feet wet. And I don't know how much rain they got. They got wet. They look like they must have got 6-7 inches down there or more. We didn't get that much up here.
Well, it snowed just a little bit last night early, but it didn't stick.
Yeah.
But it did come a little snow. Now they can have that snow. They keep all that up there up north.
Well, me too. North Arkansas got covered up.
Well, it snows down here. It closes everything up down here. I mean, they roll up the sidewalk and go home down here.
Mississippi, the whole state shuts down. Yep. It always has. Yeah, man, it didn't have to snow many flakes in this snow day. I'd never forget I was in junior college. It was after football season. And it was before baseball season started. And I don't know what time of year it was, but it was a big snow, and it was in the spring of '66, I believe. I believe it was after the first of the year. But anyway, we always went back over there on Sundays. Go home on Fridays, and then come back on Sunday evening. And me and my buddy that I rode with, it was, I don't know, it was 4 or 5 of us over there staying in the dorm, football players or whatever. And me and Billy Joe hunted all that weekend, so it must have been in January, February. I don't know. But we had hunted all weekend, and so we went back to school in his truck. He had a 48 Dodge 19. Now Stan, not 18.
There he is.
Yeah.
He Stan, he's sort of like a bad cold. He just hides.
That's right. But he had I forget, what do you call it when you rework an old vehicle? Refurbished.
Yeah.
1948 Ford Dodge Power Wagon. Had big old wheels on it and all that, and big old flow shift. And we went back to school in his truck instead of my car. And we got over there, got back to school right at dark on Sunday evening. And they always play, he lived in a different dorm than I did, and they always play cards over there on Sundays. When the guys went on back to school, they'd be over there playing cards. I don't know, we wasn't gambling, but we was playing a rook or hearts or spades or whatever. So I carried my luggage and stuff and put it in my room, and my roommate was there. He was from Shelby too. My roommate was there, and he was studying. I said, well, I wasn't going to school to learn nothing. I was going to school to play ball. I said, I'm going over to Billy Joe's room and play cards. All right, he said, I'm studying. I said, well, good for you. So I went and walked over there to his dorm, and they had a TV, a little old bitty TV about that wide. They had rabbit ears, and they had some kind of coat hangers on the windows or something. hanging outside where they could watch. Well, Greenwood, it was about 20 miles, and they could pick up the Greenwood radio at the television station. And we were sitting there playing cards, and they got to coming on there talking about snow. And so we were watching that thing, and they come back and it's having all kind of. That's before they had the weather alerts and all that mess. It just was the newsman would come on talking about what was going, the weather. Didn't even have sirens for tornadoes or nothing. And the newsman come on there and right in the middle of Gunsmoke or something there, and they said the Mississippi Delta is going to get up to a foot of snow by Monday morning. And they had that radar in them days that had the line in it, the ping. You know what I'm talking about, Troy?
Yeah.
Showed the line. And then they had the little towns abbreviated on it. And they ran that radar, showed that radar, and over there, and I'm going to say about like El Dorado, Arkansas, Monticello, Arkansas, on up to Pine Bluff. It was a wall of snow, and they were talking about blizzard conditions, and they had a feed from the Little Rock station into that station. I don't know, they must have been affiliates or something. Showed the cars shut down, and I told Billy Joe, I said, man, that snow was coming here. It was snowing all the way down into Louisiana. I said, hell, let's go back home. He said, heck yeah, let's go back home. So I said, let me go get my suit. No, I didn't even get my suitcase. I had to get something, though. I don't remember what it was. I said, we ain't going to have no school tomorrow. So I run back over there and went up in the dome, and Curtis was in there. I said, Buckshot. I said, man, it's a terrible snow coming. We've been watching over there on TV in Billy Joe's room. I said, it's me and Billy Joe going back to shelter. Well, I don't want to get caught over here. He said, man, I can't go back home. My daddy killed me. I said, well, you're going to get hung up over here. I said, he said, I can't go back home. He said, I got to stay. I said, well, if you want to leave your car and come on and go, you can stay at my house. Or you can bring your car and come to my house. Your daddy ain't got to know you come home. No, daddy found out. I said, all right, well, we gone. So we went back to Shelby. It was about an hour ride back home. So Billy Joe dropped me off the house, and I walked in, and he said, what in the world are you doing here? I said, man, there's a snow coming. Y'all ain't been watching the weather? And they hadn't been watching the weather. In fact, they hadn't even had a TV on. I said, y'all better turn that TV on. I said, it's going to snow like up north. We couldn't they talking about 12 inches of snow in the Delta.
Golly. And
it snowed 8 inches. That's what the official thing was. about Wednesday. Billy Joe. Well, that was the snow that me and him took that Dodge, and we went out to our farm, and we put 3 or 4 of them old big pyramid house blocks in the back of it, and got all kinds of chain and cable. We had one cable we had wrapped up that been pulled up out of the field. That somewhere had an old rusty cable about 40 foot long. We went to the parts house and bent that thing and made yokes on each end of it and bolted it together. And we was riding up down the highway, pulling people back up on 61 highway. We $5 a pull. Billy Joe driving the truck, and I was the chain man. And we pulled a mini vehicle. We made a pile of money. We split it 50-50. And then we got hooked up with the service station. And when they found out what we was doing, and they give us, we had 2 or 3 sets of booster cake from the service stations that they couldn't keep up with all the old ladies. The car wouldn't crank. We was going around. And the service station was paying us $2, I think. And then our break, between our trips up and down the highway, we were just riding the highway, go one end and drive about 5 miles north and 5 miles south. We just riding up down the highway in that big old power wagon, pulling folks out. And in the breaks, we service station. They say so and so, and we go over to a house and boost them off, and they give us a $2, and we bring it back. Well, I think they charged $3 to boost off, and the service station man was giving us $2 of it because his truck they couldn't go nowhere in the little old regular pickup. But there was still people out there on 61 trying to go somewhere, and we did that all that day, and then the next day we did it for 2 days. Now that was Monday and Tuesday. And there's ice that second day. It was bad that second day. And them folks are still trying to go somewhere. And we never pulled out anybody we knew. It was all strangers that traveling. They're like idiots. But we was over at my house eating. Mama cooked us dinner on Wednesday. We did it every day, and it was still ice. And then, snow was melting a little bit, but it was still ice. And we was over eating dinner. She done fixed some sandwiches and some soup. And I said, Billy, we ought to call Curtis. They went in there and called Curtis. And we were listening on the TV. They was talking about everything that was closed, And Mississippi Delta Junior College was shut down. It was shut down. And they didn't have no power, man. They called Curtis on the dorm, had a phone that was right outside mine in his room. And he was one of the few people that's left over there on campus. He canceled that phone. He said, Slaughter Hall. And we said, it's Buckshot. He said, what do you want? I said, how you doing, boy? He said, man, he said, I done studied so much. He said, and it's sitting in the dark. And he said, this is awful. This is the worst time of my life. And they had classes on Friday. They finally had classes for campus students only. We wasn't there, so we didn't have to go. He just sat over there the whole week, man. Oh gosh, he was mad at us. We tried to get him to go home. His daddy done called him and said, boy, why didn't you come home? You could have been out in the shop helping fix these tractors and stuff like that. That's probably the reason Curtis didn't go home.
Yeah, one year it come a snowstorm here, and the day before Thanksgiving, started snowing early that morning, and Thanksgiving Eve, I was over at the police department, and it was snow everywhere. And all them people was coming up 35 to go to see the family.
Mm.
And all that road is iced over, and they snow all over in the medium, everything. So about 3 or 4 o'clock that afternoon, we started getting a lot of calls and stuff. People done run off the medium and wrecked. Yeah. Just a mess. So I loaded up one car and had my guy with me, and another car we loaded up, went up there, and I got up on that interstate about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. My intention was to work up there till about midnight and go home. Well, that didn't happen. Thanksgiving morning, I still up on that interstate at 6 o'clock in the morning, and they still pulling them out. Mm. And then we had about 5 wreckers, and they was pulling them out constantly up there. They'd pull them out, and they'd go down the road 10, 15 miles, and they'd be in again.
There you go.
But wasn't nowhere for them people to go because they'd all traveled.
That's right.
And wasn't no motels down there at Mountains. All little old bitty small motel where you put 12, 14 people in it. It's full.
It's full up.
So they pulled them out all night long. Just, and I didn't think it's ever going to end. So got all that cleaned up, and a week later, some guy hit the pylon on the bridge with an 18-wheeler and tore that bridge up, and and they afraid it's going to collapse, so they shut the interstate down and then run all that traffic right through the 2-lane Highway 81 right downtown where I work.
Oh,
And I'll be
Lord.
darned if I wasn't up there another 12 hours. So every car that come down 35 had to detour
Mm,
through town and go back up. But
Mm.
that was the only time I had to work in the snow. Now them guys is out there working in the snow. I sat in a squad car where it was warm.
Right. We, you know, Billy, we buried him last year, but he and I talked about it all the time on telephone. He lived down on the coast. He moved down on the coast years ago. But we used to talk about that. I don't remember how much money we made at $5 a pull. And it didn't make no difference how far out there you were. We could reach it. We done got, oh, I don't know. I bet we had 200 foot of cables and chain, big chain.
Well, that's what them tow truck people was doing. They's out there a portable credit card machine, $150 a pull. They's pulling them out.
Well, there wasn't no records where I come up. It was one there, but it wouldn't crank.
A lot of good it does.
A lot of good it did. But I'll never forget this one guy. And this was the first day. This is the first day. We could see him going when we wasn't going fast. We couldn't go fast either. But we was on. That truck was so heavy when we didn't put them house blocks in it. It didn't have no chains on it, none of that. And this one car was sitting out there, and he was sitting out there about 100 feet. And we pulled up, and it was on my side, and I had rolled the window down, pulled up, and he got out of his car. He had it sitting out there with his heater running. And he done buried that thing, thought he was going to come out of there. He said, "You need to pull out?" He said, "Yeah, I sure do." He said, "What?" And I said, $5. He said, "Oh, no, I'll give you $3." I rolled one up. Billy Joe said, "Roll." And Billy Joe was the businessman. He said, "Roll one up." I rolled one up. He drove off, left him sitting there, standing there beside his car. And I said, "Golly, we ain't going to pull the man out." He said, "Hell no, we ain't going to pull the man out. When we go back by, he'll be ready." We went on up the highway and pulled out 2 or 3 cars, pulled them back up in the road, and they would follow us because we was driving real slow and about third gear in that old Dodge truck. And they wasn't taking it careful then. We got up to our turnaround point, which was 6 miles, Duncan. We went from Shelby to Duncan at 6 miles. And we got up there and we got out there and got turned around off on the right out there in the big gravel spot we knew about, and got back up on the highway. And when we got pulled out, a couple more going down back. When we got to that man, Billy Joe was on that side then. And the fella got out of his car. He was this truck he had was a cherry red. It had a beautiful paint job. It was cherry red. That was the color of it. I helped him paint it, matter of fact. Billy Joe rolled that window down. He said, "You need to pull out?" He said, "I got you $5 right here." So he pulled up and backed off over there with the back end pointed. I got out and drug all that chain, crawled up on his car. I had a little bean scoop I used to dig the snow out where I could get up on there and find something good to pull tight to. And we pulled it back up in the road, and but we got the money for we pulled them up. When I get down there with the chain, I said, "All right, they need to pay now." And they always did, and that guy, he'd give me $5, and we pulled him out. But I thought sure when we pulled up there that Billy Joe was going to tell him 10, but he didn't. He told him 5. He was ready to pay too.
I imagine.
But gosh, we made some money. And golly, Troy, in 1966, that's what I said. I was driving a tractor $6 a day. And that was from sun up to after dark, And $5 to pull somebody out. Can you imagine how much money me and him had? Oh, have mercy, we had a bunch of money.
Yeah. And them doggone eggs is dang near $6 a dozen now.
Yeah, that's right. I'll pull you out for a dozen eggs.
Alvin Lewis told me today that he's seen them for $7.50 up here by his place.
Yeah, I've seen some of it on Facebook where people talking about the high cost. What can you imagine what they cost in Alaska?
Oh, good God. They don't,
And
well, I don't know. You know what? I don't really know how many eggs they even sell in Alaska because, you know, they go pick up eggs. They go pick up eggs, wild eggs all the time.
duck eggs and all that.
Yeah, and geese eggs and seagull eggs. And I seen them on TV. They harvest them things. They hunt them.
Yeah, walk out there on the net on that bar
Yeah.
and get them eggs out of the net. Yeah, but everybody can't do that. Somebody got to go buy. I mean, they got to have a grocery store to go to. Everybody don't live in the back, out back.
Hey, you do like me, just quit eating.
Yeah, do without.
I eat a lot of oatmeal for $6.
Yeah, you sure can. Yeah, David, we was hustling, boy. We was making that money. We made money all week too. We finally just quit. We was working. We was working harder than I worked when I was in the field. Billy Joe go home. He looked like he ain't never been out of the house, and I'd be muddy and nasty and freezing to death and wet.
Well,
But that was part of it.
Before all this thing happened, people that didn't have a whole lot of money, they could always, try to dig up enough money to go get eggs. They could eat eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Eggs and peanut butter. Well, the eggs is gone now, so I guess the peanut butter is going to be next.
Yeah. Looking at CP's enough eggs for 10 people. That's gonna eat an egg while he's thinking about what he's gonna eat. He'll eat 2 eggs just to warm up to get ready to eat. He got a skillet sitting over on the stove. I bet you he ain't had to clean that skillet in 2 years. All he had to do is cut the fire on and throw them eggs in there. Yeah, I know it, David, but it was his truck. And that was like I said, Billy Joe was the businessman. And we had all our chain from the farm and cables that we made up. And Billy Joe's daddy had a big chain. And we bought a couple more chains. And that was the deal. I'd do the hooking up and all that. And he'd furnish the gas in the truck. So that was the deal.
I got done with that truck driving live today, and I looked up there and had 116 views already. I guess 116 people had tuned in.
Yeah, I watched.
I watched for a little while at least.
I watched most of it. I always watch the end to see how much money you made and how much wrecking you did.
I didn't do too bad today.
That wasn't but a 500-mile trip. 505, ain't that what it was?
Yeah, it might have been 573, I think.
Is that what it was? I remember looking at it.
So. Yeah. Well, I think I'm fixing to head off to the bed. It's that time for me to.
Yeah, I'll probably be up all night. I slept 2 hours this evening. Tonight.
You what?
I slept. I went to bed at 5:30 and got up at 8.
Wonder if Hog Leg's gonna be on.
Wednesday night, yeah. One of them will be on.
You gonna drive for who? You can't drive for me. I can't afford you.
And Mark,
I'd have to have double indemnity insurance on you. Y'all wait till y'all see Stan drive. That's something.
yeah, I can't wait. I want to see all y'all going.
Well, see, Stan gets off so late at night. We need to do that on the weekend, one weekend.
Yeah.
Now, while Hog Leg is not got a show going and and Stan's off because he's talking about I can get off every night at midnight. Well, I'm sure he does, but hell, I'm in the bed by then.
Yeah, you gonna be.
And so yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be a treat. I guarantee you that. Let me tell you something. I was up there behind Hog Leg, and Stan done run over Hog Leg 2 or 3 times already. Fact is, he run over him so much he had to go get his truck fixed. And I'm tootling on down the road, you know. I'm watching Hog Leg up there drive, and Hog Leg, he does pretty good. Directly, I look back in the rearview mirror, and I see this truck coming up fast, and I realize it's Stan. And I mean, he's coming on fast, and I just pulled off the highway there, eased over in the desert, and I said, "Here you go, Stan. You can have it." I said, "Hog Leg, you better move." Because he's coming through and he ain't fixing to shift her down. Oh my God.
And he knocked him in the other lane.
He hit him so hard, all I seen is Hog Leg's front end fly one way and the trailer fly the other way. And I heard Hog Leg go, "Golly, what in the world?" But I told him when he got in there, I said, if you won't let Stan drive behind you, if you go to stop or slow down, you showed up better tell him. Because he ain't going, he'll fix to run over you. I'm too smart to get in front of him. I ain't gonna let him get behind me. And when he did get behind me, I got out of the doggone way. That's a mess.
Yeah, man.
Hog Leg is over there tonight. See when he comes on, when he gets on there playing, I can see which game he's playing.
Oh, you can?
Yeah, it sends me a message. And he's on there playing that trucker game. And he probably trying to rebuild all his money and his everything that he lost the other night, paying for Stan running over.
There you go. That's hilarious, man. That's really funny. So yeah.
All right, I'm going to bed. Y'all have a good time. Don't stay up.
All right, Troy. Thank you for stopping in, man.
Oh yeah, I'll see you.
All right. And then there was one. And then there was one. Hey, Lucky. Lucky's sitting on the floor. Let me close this door. Yeah, close that door a little bit. CP, I think you buy that game. I think it cost $20. I believe that's what Hog Leg just paid for it. I don't know the name of it, nothing Troy can tell you. It was Stan can tell you. Susquehanna Stan can tell you what it cost. He just bought it. Okay, Mark. What's the name of it, Stan, and how much does it cost? There you go, Chuck. There it is. American Truck Simulator. I assume it comes with everything. Well, you have to have joysticks or something. I don't know. I know nothing about that stuff. Well, Stan, do you have to have joysticks, or what? How do you drive it? How about that, David? You see all that CP? They're giving you some plenty of information on it. Boys, all I can do is keep them going in yonder and getting me a bowl of sauerkraut. Man, I like that stuff. It's in the refrigerator outside, and if I go out there and go in that utility room, I'll wake Kay up, and then I'll be in hot water. If I brought it in the house, I'd probably eat it constantly. That stuff is good. Homemade chili. You put beans in your chili, Stan? I don't use beans. I don't put beans in mine. I don't like it. I don't like the way they taste. I'm really not a bean eater. Game controller. Okay. I see. I don't understand any of that lingo. I don't have any idea what y'all talking about. Was it a CD you put in the side in your computer? The CD? Is that what it is? Woo. I might sprinkle some American cheese on it, but I ain't putting no sour cream in it. Oh, no. Uh-uh. I'll put some shredded cheddar cheese on top of it occasionally. It's a download. Okay. How about that? All right, now, like in that Troy, you said Troy uses a stick game controller. Okay, but well, now Troy uses a game controller. Now, what do you do? Buy a game controller? You order one from somewhere, and it plugs into your computer some sort of way on a USB port over here or something. I think it'd be better for me to have if I was to do it, have a game controller. Okay, I got you. I can kind of visualize how it works. You go on davidstream.com, download. There you go, CP. What do you do? Pay it with a credit card or something? then on stream you buy games. Okay, all right, I got you. So up on your desktop, you got a truck simulator icon. You click on that, and it opens the game up for you. Okay. I know y'all have fun doing it. I enjoy watching it. Now, I can't sit there and watch the whole thing, but I watch bunches of it when Troy drives. Troy does pretty good out on the highway, but when he gets up there with all them stop signs and all that stuff, he's kind of dangerous. Okay, I got it. There you go, CP, all the information you need. You probably downloading it right now. Hey, buddy. What's up, man? What's up? You've been appealed today. KK got mad at you twice. She sure did. You better stay in here with me. And don't grab me and try to cut me. Yeah, old Lucky and got in hot water twice today with Kay. But I don't think it bothers him too much. We got two good old cats. I wish they got along though, but they don't like each other. They don't like each other at all. That's a shame. Have two inside pets that don't get along. And they both basically rescue. One of them is stray. Well, both of them, I guess you call a stray. All right, but I look at it. I saw it come up over there. All right. Yeah, move promo. All right. Moving. That gun. Yeah, that cop chase, the cop chasing tomorrow is gonna be something too. One of them had leukemia. Oh wow, I hate that. That's good. That's awesome. Okay, Annette, thank you for stopping by, young lady. Have a good night. David, y'all didn't get any snow in Little Rock, did you? To mount anything? It was a few miles north of you. Troy train. Oh, yeah. Let's go to Troy train. All right. I wish I knew how to open it and put it on here. I don't know how to do all that though. I'll mess up, shut everything down, I'm sure. Roscoe T. Troy train. What is it? Is it yeah, I didn't think I watched the radar pretty close. They got some in Bologna. But on up the road about 20 miles above Bologna, boy, they got hammered. All the way to Jonesboro, past Paragould, back to Springdale and Fayetteville, Fort Smith. And there was some heavy snow across there. I think it missed Memphis too. I think it went a little north of Memphis. They may have got a little bit. It's just kind of miserable cold here. It's not cold temperature wise, but it's just a wet cold, damp cold. Oh, that's about where we are staying. I hadn't looked. My phone's in yonder in the bed. But the last time I looked at it, it was 40, 42, I think. Supposed to get out of around 35 tonight. Yeah, I thought it went a little bit north of Memphis. Ooh, no power. All right. Boy, I bet them hillbillies are upset. Mountain View. That's pretty country, but I wouldn't want to live there. Yeah, north of Stan. Yes, I don't know kind of where Stan is. So are you in Pennsylvania too, Bud? You know, are you in Pennsylvania? Yeah, you in Pennsylvania. Look at y'all, you two Pennsylvania guys. Years ago, in the 80s, I reckon, I was in Somerset, New Jersey. That's where our home office was. And I was up there for 4 or 5 days meeting. And I was reading a newspaper. I don't remember what it was, but anyway, I bought a newspaper there in the lobby of the motel, and I was reading the newspaper up there in the room, and it had an article about Pennsylvania deer hunting, and that Pennsylvania they opened their deer season earlier than anywhere else, or something or other, and they had thousands of acres of public hunting, and that people from the surrounding states flocked into Pennsylvania for deer season, and that I can't remember exactly how it went, but they had more folks shot in Pennsylvania deer hunting actually, than any place else in the country. It was hundreds of damn people got shot up there, and they said about 30% of them were contract hits. And they solved some of them. Some of the time, a wife would hire her a hitman, and they just follow the fella to the woods and sit off out yonder 100 yards and shoot him. And mafia, I guess, was involved in some of it. But they said that article said that 36% of the deaths during Pennsylvania deer season were contract hits. And I said, Lord have mercy. I wouldn't want that probably ain't a good place to go deer hunting. But if you think about it, that's pretty smart. That's pretty smart. And if you're going to have somebody shot, then you shoot him out there in the woods. It's an accident. Happen all the time. There ain't no way to know who did it. Yep, only 5 years lost of license and a fine. If you kill somebody dead hunting, how about that? I thought that was that caught my attention for me to remember it because I usually don't remember nothing I read. Hey man, quit. But that was that's pretty wild. And that was just an estimate. They didn't really know how many folks with contract hit. This was a guess. We can't do it down here in the South. But up there where y'all live, you know, if you want to kill somebody and never get caught, and you stab them with an icicle. You know, I've seen them up there in big old long icicle. You stab somebody in the heart with an icicle and pull it off, throw it over on the ground, and walk off. He dead, and or she dead, or whoever's dead, and there ain't no evidence. That's gory. The conversation has gone the wrong way. I hate to get stabbed with an icicle. I would. All right, I'm gonna put this link back up here. Somebody, Mark, probably got to be back by now. He might come up in a little bit. Yeah. If you had an icicle, you probably would have stabbed that Amazon man or somebody. You ready to stab one of them? Yeah, it's spooled up over there. Get ready. I listened, got all back there trying to figure out where that noise coming from, and everybody said clean the vents. I can't find no vents. I can't find nothing back there to clean. Well, what it is, what it is. When this one plays out, we'll get us another. No comment. Oh, yeah, man, that's pitiful the way they did you. Plumb pitiful. This new cam to work. Okay, well, I just put the link right up there, Mark. Come on up. We got a few minutes before Hog Leg kicks off. How much rain did y'all end up getting, David? Did y'all get a pile of it? I didn't get my gauge. I got my gauge turned upside down out there, but I saw the water line way up in the folks' yard down the street this morning. No rifling, okay. We don't want to talk about all that. Yeah, that's probably what we got. That's a lot of water. Imagine the creek rose a little bit with 4 inches. Hey, David, do you watch YouTube channel from up there on Lake Conway? Well, I think it's Cole and Jay, that young couple, boy and girl. They live on Lake Conway, excuse me. They do a lot of fishing videos, a lot of them. Are you subscribed to that channel? Cole and Jay, Cole and Jay, Jay. Cole is his name, and Jaylene or Javern or something. But anyway, they call it her. She goes by Jay. It's a real good channel. I been subscribed to them for years and years. But some of those guys that I've met through my son and daughter-in-law up there at Bologna know them. They know where they live and everything. And they catch a lot of good fish, They're all different species. They fun to watch. There he is.
What's going on, Coach? How are you doing? Trying to get this camera set up here. I'm not liking where it sits on my desk.
So, David, you from Russellville? They fish over at that power plant all the time. I fished up there at that power plant for a skipjack one time in the cold winter time. It's the coldest I've been in the last 20 years. And we caught one skipjack.
What's up, CP?
Yeah. They fish all around over there in them back bayous off of Lake Conway too, David. I've been to some of those places that I recognize. When my son and I go riding around looking.
So what's going on, Coach? How you feeling?
I'm feeling better. I had a rough spell this evening with my back, but I took me some ibuprofen and I took some gabapentin for my nerves and laid down for a couple of hours and feel good now.
I know a lot of people taking that gabapentin, so seems to help some not so much.
It's my feet fire, what I call fire. They'll be freezing one minute and burning up the next.
That's that neuropathy that'll get you every time.
And I'm hoping, and I don't know that. I ain't talked to the specialist or nothing yet that's going to work on my back. But I'm hoping that when they get these bone spurs off my backbone, that's going to help my feet some. Because I don't have any pain in my legs. None. Nowhere up and down my legs. Just in my feet and my back. There ain't nowhere in between. But I'm hoping that there's a nerve or something pinched in there in my back from those bone spurs.
What's the doctor tell you?
They hadn't told me yet. I don't see him until the 20th. This is the first time I've ever really followed up on this thing and to try to get it fixed. Because
are you diabetic?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Then that could very well be it.
I hope so. I don't know. I've had this since back in the 80s, but it used to be once or twice a year. Actually, once every 2 or 3 years, and then a couple of times a year, and now it's a couple of times a month, and I can't handle it anymore.
Yeah, I got all sorts of problems from neuropathy, so I know what you're going through with your feet, which is why I asked. What's going on, Missy? How you doing? Hey, Buck, what's up?
Hey, Missy.
Said hello to David earlier. So how's the picture look on this? Pretty good?
Looks good. Sounds good. Everything's great, man. Yeah, looks good. Yeah, David, they got that cable up out there, but people go out there and catch crappie and stripes and skipjacks, and I even see them catching catfish out there.
I'm trying I'm trying to
Go
figure out how far south I got to go to catch skipjack.
You can catch them at Kentucky, in Kentucky.
Yeah, over by Berkeley, right? Like Berkeley Dam.
I think that's the name of it. Yeah, yeah, you can catch them in Kentucky. Now that's the furthest north that I know of.
Land between the lakes. It's been a while. Shoot. That's a long ways for me.
Yeah, yeah, a long way from me.
And they ain't always running, so I can make the trip down there to get bait, and they won't even have them.
That's right.
I just keep going right down to Alabama.
Or Pickwick,
There you go.
or you can go to Cheatham Dam on the Cumberland. That's where me and Tim was talking about all that last night on the Cumberland.
On the yeah, that
Cheatham,
guy finds fishes over there, so that got me thinking about the Cumberland River too. So.
well, that boy you had on the other night, they caught that big fish on the Cumberland.
I got to find out exactly. Well, not exactly where, but what part of the Cumberland, I think.
Well, I can tell you, you look on the map and find Cheatham Dam, lock it down. Below that dam, they wear out some good catfish. They have for years. Cheatam, I believe is the way they pronounce it.
I'm still a ways away from that trip. Right now, I'm just worried about CatCon coming up.
There you go. One of my best friends used to be the lock master at Cheatham Lock and Dam for about 20 years.
It helps to have a lock master friend. They won't call DNR if you're too close to the damn lock, and you know that's where a lot of them fish are.
I never did go up there and fish it, but he tried to get me to come up there all the time. And that group that I was running with back in them days on the Brotherhood of Catfishermen, they had a big gathering up there every year at that little old community in February. And Lord, they film it, and
yeah,
show the videos, and it'd be sleeting and snowing, and they'd be out there. Though I can't handle that. I fished all winter down here, but down here fishing in the winter, a lot different fishing there in the winter. It was bad, some of them trips they made up there. CP and I talked about going up there once or twice, but we didn't ever go. No.
David says, man, that does look good, Mark. Yeah, I'm worried it's going to show off all the faults I got here. Before I used to be able to hide them.
Yeah. Okay, I got you, David. I didn't know you could drive down there and fish right there. Still works at the nuclear plant, all right?
I could just go down to Springfield and fish for blues coming up here soon, but we'll see about that. I have no idea. That's like 5 hours from me.
Yeah.
We got what? We got LaSalle, Powerton, which I don't fish too much. I haven't fished there on a boat. What's that other power plant we got up here? I forget the name. Let me Google that stuff.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I was talking to Mika about it, and he's a flathead fisherman. So that really got me thinking about Baldwin, Lake of Egypt, Coffin, Braidwood. Yeah. That's it. Braidwood and LaSalle. Those are the two.
Okay. Yeah, he's going, Dave.
I am going to CatCon. Yep. As long as my dad's health keeps getting better, yes. Because that's what stopped me last year, and he's been in the hospital in and out for the past 2 months. So, fingers crossed. I gotta go. It's got my name all over it.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, you world famous. You got to go. Keep them going. I got to run to the kitchen.
All right, they'll be here. Yeah, I got a room reserved, David. So the plan is to go. It's like 6 hours. I think 6 hours for me to get down there. So I don't even remember what days. I reserved my room at the Crown Point or Crown Plaza, whatever it's called, months ago. So I think I'm there Friday night and Saturday night. I was thinking about just canceling the one night and coming back Saturday afterwards. You know what I mean? We'll see. I got to think about it. I got to see how much trouble I want to get into while I'm down there. Are you going, David? Buck says, Mark, you could have someone in the cat family vacuum seal some, dry, ship them to me. You know, I tried, when I was down at Avid's meet and greet, I tried bringing some back, and I did nothing for me here. I'm just trying to, it's crazy as it sounds, I've never caught a skipjack. I want to try it, Buck, which is why I asked. I figure if I'm going to go somewhere to go try and catch some blue cats this year, prior to hope, well, I'd like to go to Alabama. I didn't go this year because I broke those ribs, so I didn't get a chance to go. And then Fish Brain needed some work done, so I had to follow through with that whole promise for them while having broken ribs. That was rough. That was really rough, but that's another story. I don't want to sound like a complainer, but it was. So yeah, that's how come I didn't go. Plus, a couple other people were sick that were in our party that was heading down there. So, David says, Mark, I wish I could go, but with all the construction going on here, I'm not going to make it. But Steve and Express Boats are going to be there. Check them out. I will check them out. Definitely. Really got my heart set on one boat, but we'll see what happens. We will see what happens. Actually, I got my heart set on two boats. Two options. One is a pretty hardcore bare bones fishing boat, and the other one's kind of a little higher trim levels, bells and whistles and stuff, which I'd like, but I don't necessarily need, so I got to figure out what I want. The bare bones one's cheaper, but it'll take me a year to get it because they just came out with the model like last year, I think, and everybody's snapping them up. Oh. You going to do any fishing this year, Steve, or are you going to be like Hogleg and pretend you fish?
No, I'm gonna do some.
All right.
I'm gonna get back out there and try.
I don't doubt that Hogleg. You got a question sometimes.
Oh, I fished a lot last year.
I know I did. I watched a lot of your streams.
I didn't know catch nothing, but I fished a lot.
Hey, as long as you're trying.
But water got out so low.
You fished that one spot. It had like slow water out in front of you. I remember seeing the tugboats going by quite a bit. You know what? Is that the right spot I'm thinking of? Is that the one you usually go to?
Well, the one that I like to fish the most, I don't have cell signal. I very seldom ever try to fish there on live. But where most of the time we're fishing at the mouth of the lake where our harbor dumps into the Mississippi.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But
no, the only reason why I asked is because that's the only place besides you fishing on Palmetto. Was that Palmetto's tournament I seen you a while back on? Is that you that fell? Who fell?
Oh, that was me. Fell that night in that rainstorm.
Yeah. What tournament was that on? One of Palmetto's tournaments, or was that somebody else?
That was on Aaron Elliott.
Okay, that was on a 7-7. I remember that. I was like, oh, that hurt. Reason why I asked is because the one place I saw you fishing in here recently, did you fish there like all summer long, like spring through fall? You did? Okay.
Yeah, right in that area. Yeah. Hey, Jody.
Meemaw. I was going to ask Jody how the camera looks, but she don't wear glasses, so. I'm cold, Coach. I'll be right back. I'm going to go put on a hoodie.
Okay.
I'm freezing all of a sudden. Hold on.
I'm sitting up there eating crackers and V8. A hell of a snack. This is the worst tube of crackers I believe I ever tried to eat. Yeah, David, those express boats pretty nice boats now. And there ain't a single piece of wood in them nowhere. Yep. There's saltines and it's a bad batch.
I'm back.
All right.
Whew.
Yeah, we limited down here on bank spots. Everything on the Mississippi River down here is privately owned.
That's
Yeah,
the
bro.
same way here. Everything's private. The couple of public spots, you know, they're so pressured that
And we just don't have anywhere to fish actually from the bank.
a lot of the public spots here are like really, really shallow too. I mean, I'm talking 6 to 9 inches.
Huh.
It doesn't do you any good, you know. But then one spot that's owned by a company that lets people fish quite a bit actually. Fish there for a long time. You'll catch channel catch, you'll catch drum over there, some smallmouth, but no flatheads until we figured out that you got to go across the river right on the other side. And mind you, coach, it's only 100 yards across the river right there, barely, if that.
Huh.
That's how much of a difference it made.
Huh. Hmm.
But that's private property, and you got to fish it under the cover of darkness.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're fishing in a park, a campground.
Hmm.
It's an 80-acre campground right here where our harbor dumps into the river. And that's actually where we're fishing is in, if they stopped that, then we wouldn't have nowhere to go.
You know, I got a friend who is a retired sergeant, right? Police sergeant of one of the suburbs here. And he got crazy not working, so he got a security job at a campground. He keeps wanting me to go out there and fish with him because he fishes while he's on shift. And they
Okay.
got some nice crappie in there, but their limit is only 3. So
Oh,
that's probably why they're so big. Hopefully they don't stunt them.
well, you can always cull, can't you?
You can. But if I'm crappie fishing, it's usually for the freezer.
Why they it must be a small lake or something.
Yeah, it's a small campground lake. You got to remember, we're out here in the far northwest suburbs. I mean,
Yeah, I got
if you go up onto the chain, there's some big crappie. I'm going to figure them out this year. I haven't really spent all that much time out there. I'm going to spend a little more time. Usually I go out there in the spring and in the fall. I got a little local electric only lake that I like to fish at that I
Yeah.
do really, really good off the bank in the spring, right at ice out. But that there hasn't been any ice, so I don't know what the heck they're going to do.
Hmm.
So who knows? I should be out there fishing now since the ice is melted.
Oh yeah, well, I still, hell, I'm 75 years old. I've never been crappie fishing. I've caught crappie a few, maybe 15,
Yeah.
but I've never been crappie fishing. I ain't never been bass fishing. Only time I ever been brim fishing was for bait. And since I was a kid, I used to fish in the ditches and things for little old fish when I was growing up out in the country, but I ain't never done nothing but catfish. Never.
I like crappie fishing. I just do. I like finding them. I mean, they're not they're no big, massive fight unless you're using like 2-pound test or something like that, which I'll do from time to time. But I'm not going to keep it. My wife won't eat catfish. She'll eat crappie. That's the only fish that I'll catch that she'll eat. She'll eat salmon, but that's only in the fall. And in the fall, when they get close enough for me to catch, as of today, until I get another boat, are
Oh, you sold your boat today?
I'm sorry?
You sold your boat today?
No, I didn't sell my boat. No, not even close. I'm trying to figure out how to get this boat without selling mine, and then get the new boat and sell the old one because I don't want to be without a boat.
I got you.
So I got to figure out how to make that happen. I got a camper I got to sell, and that's on the agenda for next week. It's in Southwest Wisconsin, so it's literally 3 hours from here.
Yeah.
So I either got to sell it to the place that has it, or move it here. We used to have a campsite out there that we rented annually, which is where it stayed. And then I had it moved to the RV dealership out there, and they only charged me $25 a month to keep it there. So over here, they'll charge you $200. It didn't make any sense for me to bring it home.
Mm.
So, Jody, I got a camper. It's 34 feet long. You can live in that thing. Got a garage door and everything on the back. It's a toy hauler.
Boy, you got a knife.
It's all right. It's a pain to pull. I don't think Jody's truck could pull it. When I had it loaded up with our ATVs, it would weigh 13,000 pounds.
Gosh. Mm. I got a metal detecting friend that retired last year. He's down in Texas. He's written several books. He's quite an authority. And Dennis bought a toy hauler, and he and his sold his house. They bought this big, nice toy hauler. I don't know, it's a monster. And right now they are in somewhere on the Tennessee River. They've been there for about 3 months in a campground, and he's metal detecting all up in there in the Civil War stuff along the Tennessee River. I talked to him the other day. He was asking me, I forget, he sent me a text message for some reason, and I can't remember what he wanted, but I told him what I knew about it.
Jody, quit trying to butter me up for a free camper. I need that for a boat for boat money. So you ain't getting it for free. And then she says, "Camera looks great. You don't look nearly as ugly as usual."
Yeah, I just gave my camper away to my son, my grandson.
We'll see. I got no idea even what that thing's worth. You know how campers are. They ain't worth much after you buy them.
Yeah, well, there's a website around here for local Mississippi, Arkansas, Louisiana. But man, there's hundreds of them come and go on there.
No, we got, there's in Chicago, in the suburbs here where I live right on the outskirts of the suburbs. There's 10 million people, Coach. Someone's got to want to buy it.
Oh, yeah. That's right. You just got to get the word out. See you, Jody.
Good night, Jody. She's going to sleep. She's going to start banning people again from your chat.
Oh, yeah. She'll be knocking them out. She got Steve Loke earlier.
I heard.
Yeah, she got me one time, 2 or 3 times.
Missy says she won't haul LTVs, but she's got all them rods and stuff in there.
Yep. Well, it won't be long to be fishing time down here for me.
For me too. I mean, it's already next week's going to be February already. So we got what, 4 weeks, and then it'll be rough fishing, but I'll be able to get back on the water. Yeah,
they lose their resale value pretty quick, Miss.
Yeah, they do, Missy. I'll take whatever I can get. That, as long as I can put it towards the boat, I'll be happy, man.
Damn, a year later they offered you 12. Wow, yeah, well.
I believe it. So how come I don't want to buy a new boat? But that's even changed. Used boats are going through the roof too because they're hard to get.
Yeah. Well, if you selling this thing back to a dealer or something like that, you ain't gonna get near about what
Yeah,
you,
they got to leave themselves some room to make money. I understand.
you have to sell it to an individual yourself. And that way you can get more money for it.
Dave says, "Goodness, Mark, have you already sold a semi? What semi? I don't have a semi." Yeah, that buy and sell, resale, new stuff is bad. You know, I bought my wife a car that listed for, I think the sticker price was like 48 grand. We picked it up for 32. It had 1,500 miles on it, Steve. And it was a year old.
Hmm.
Now we got it. It's what, a 2011. It's got 60,000 miles on it. That's it. Just took it to the shop. I took it back from the shop today. Needed new belt on there and a new idler arm. But other than that, I got to do brakes on it.
Yeah, I imagine that salt and stuff up there give y'all a fit.
I got to, David, I run Cummins diesels, man. That's all you need to know, David. I keep telling my friends to give me a hard time out here in the Catfish family that whenever they're ready to hook up toe straps, bumper to bumper, none of them want to do it. One of them actually today in a private chat, I told them I'd hook up to both their Toyotas.
Uh-oh. Yeah, you got that torque, man. That old diesel will get down there and grunt for you.
It'll pull. My last diesel, that was the one I used to snowplow with. That was a beast. I had done all sorts of little tricks to the darn thing, from boxing it up, intake, new intercooler, new turbo, new transmission. Man, I dumped so much money into that truck. It was crazy. This one I ain't touched. Nothing.
What is it, Ford or Chevy?
No, it's a Ram.
Dodge? Okay.
I growing up in high school, I worked at a Dodge dealer, right? So I had a Ford LTD was my first car. Junk kept breaking on me. I bought a Mustang in high school, a GT, LX notchback, or the notchback, not the hatchback.
Mm-hmm.
And that thing always broke on me. I started working at this Dodge dealer. I bought a Ram Charger. Thing ran great. After that, I got a Dakota, the first one, a 91 with the 318 in it. That thing ran forever. And I know what to expect with them, so I just keep buying them.
Yeah.
They're usually a pretty good deal, too. So,
Boy, you get out in Wyoming, that's all they run out there is Dodge. It's so noticeable that when you see a Ford or a Chevrolet out there, you say, Lord, that goes Chevrolet.
my dad went back and bought a Chevy. He bought one of them Envoys, I believe it's called, GMC Envoy or whatever, the SUV, and he's sorry he bought that thing. That thing's giving him nothing but trouble. And she says one end has 2 sets of bunks, on the other one has a queen bed, sofa, mixed full-size bed.
Yeah.
Western picnic kitchen too. Nice. Sounds good. Yeah, the toy hauler I had, Missy, the back opens up so you can drive whatever ATVs or side by sides in it. And then once you pull that out, it's got 2 queen beds on a winch, pretty much, and it lowers them down. So you got bunk queen beds. It's got 2 couches in it, one on each side that unfold into singles, and it's got a queen size bed in the front with a full kitchen and a full bath. So it's pretty darn big. I had nothing to do with that. I'd have bought the smallest one I could get, but
Mm.
The other
Yeah,
half, she,
I saw a picture of the one Dennis bought, and man, that thing is nice.
I got some. I said I'll never buy another camper again unless it's like a little pop top or something. I got no use for it.
Well, when I bought my little camper, the little pop-up camper, I say little, it would sleep 6 people. It had a side pull out on it and everything. I was going about 2 months, 2 weekends a month. We were going around up and down the Arkansas River, all up and down the Mississippi River, and we were doing a lot of camping. And we'd go to campsites, sometimes be 25 of them.
Yeah, we used to do that too at the campsite. There always we'd back when the price of gas wasn't silly. We used to go almost every 3 weekends a month, I would say.
Yeah,
I always have to stay one weekend, take care of stuff around here. But then my nieces got older. We don't have any kids, so once they got older, they stopped going, and then it was kind of like, so did we.
yeah. Well, I was sleeping in a tent for several of those years, and I decided I wanted to get up off the ground. So that's the reason I bought that thing I bought. I bought it used, though.
Against my better judgment, I booked a campground for Mendota. I think it was a mistake, but we'll find out.
I don't know. Why would you think it'd be a mistake?
Because the last time I slept in a tent, I froze.
Oh, in a tent, yeah.
So I'm gonna, yeah, I'm not bringing a camper all the way out there. That's ridiculous. We'll see. I'm gonna bring my ice fishing shanty and a tarp for the ground. I'm gonna bring my regular tent. So depending on the weather, I should be fine. I'll bring a little buddy heater. It'll keep me warm.
Yeah, buddy, it'll be fine. I tell you what I found out about sleeping in a tent. And I passed that on to a bunch of guys, and they saw me doing it, and then bunches of them stayed in tents on those trips. I take my tent and put it up, put the rain fly on it, and then depending on the weather, I might put 2 tarps over the top of it.
There you go. That'll help keep the heat in.
And keep it. And we had air conditioning. All our tents had air conditioners too. We had heaters in the summertime. In the wintertime, we had air conditioners in the summer. And stake those tops down. And in fact, one boy had a damn tool to put more grommets on the little cheap Walmart tops, you know.
Uh-huh.
And we stake them down, and they keep that cool air in that tent, and it keep that heat in the wintertime. But I got the same thing on my pop-up. I got tarps for the top of it. In the summertime, I turn them tarps with the shiny side out, you know, to reflect that sunlight. Yep. And in the wintertime, I turn it with the blue side out to absorb that whatever heat was available from the sun. But yeah, I believe in those tarps when you tent camping.
They help. They make a world of difference.
They sure do.
We'll see how it goes. You know, and David says you rent a camper. Them campers cost more than if it would stay in a hotel. It's ridiculous.
I enjoyed those years doing all that, though. I met a lot of good folks. And most of the time, well, we had a world of people from over in Arkansas that was in that group. And I met all of them the first time, you know, that I ever met them. Because we didn't have videos and stuff like this is now. We was all typing and stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Chat room. And heck, we still good friends. I mean, I met a lot of good folks. You know, I meant to ask Tim last night when we were talking. He was talking about Virgil aging. I believe Virgil fished on the Missouri River a lot too. It seemed to me like that's where he did most of his fishing, was on the Missouri River. I could be wrong.
That's another place I got to fish. I don't even know where to start if I go there. I'll talk to Lyle and see if he can't point me in the right direction. If not, come with me. So,
Oh yeah, he knows. I had one Missy that fit over. I had a camper shell on my truck, and I had a tent deal that my son bought me for Christmas that fit over the back door of it. When you raise it up and it had zippers, and I could set my air conditioner on the tailgate over there in one door and go up and come in the other door. Yeah, yeah. The electricity went off during the night. CP, we blew the breaker. We had too many heaters running. I remember that. Yeah, I remember that night. That was the first night we learned how to take the doors off of the utility room up there. Get in there to throw the breaker. Oh man, we were in a picnic ground right on the bank of the river. Man, that wind coming down that river, and we was all plugged in. And I don't know. I know I woke up freezing, and anyhow, Charles was right there next to me. He had ice up inside his tent. We didn't have no heat. So when the sun came up, we figured out that the only place that the breaker box could be was in the back of the bathroom, and it was locked. The door was locked. we wasn't gonna break in. There wasn't no caretaker. There wasn't nobody there. We didn't know who to call, so we checked this thing out and decided that who was it? The FBI man, I think, was the FBI man that was with us. Is the one that figured out we could take them hinges off.
uh-huh.
Take them hinges off, leave the door locked, go in the back of. And so the FBI man and CP got up there with his hammer and screwdriver, and I was there with him. And when he got the pins out of that door and they opened, got enough room to go in there and through the breaker, and we had power again. So we put the door back in there, and we didn't. And the pins was kind of hard to get out that first time, but we didn't drive them all the way through the second time. We just drove them just enough to hold the door. Because if it happened again, we knew we was going to have to go back in there. And yeah, we went in there several times through the years. Throw that breaker until we learned to spread out a little bit more.
Yeah.
The air conditioners didn't seem to throw the breakers like
They still do. Even in mine, they would throw the breaker. So.
Yeah, the heaters wasn't that dead short as well.
Yeah, exactly. Or my wife will turn on the damn toaster or the microwave while the AC's running. It's like you can't do that.
Yeah.
Don't work that way. She don't get it.
And these it's funny that these posts, these plug-ins where we was plugging in had the ground fault or whatever you call it. But hell, they throw the breaker in there in that room. And we didn't go up there and take that door off and going in. Break in.
I remember my grandfather going down in the basement and putting pennies in the damn fuses.
Yeah, instead of the old screw-in fuse.
Yeah, when he didn't have them. Any means necessary. Times sure are different.
Yeah.
Have one more smoke before we head over to Hog Leg Show.
Oh yeah, I just looked at the clock. Yeah, we better go.
It's getting close. We got a couple minutes.
Yeah. I forgot to look at the clock. Yeah, frost inside the tent.
Yeah, Missy says my uncle got him a tent that fits in his truck bed, so he doesn't have to land around. Yeah, those are pretty cool. I've seen those, Missy. Those truck bed tents.
Yeah, I know that, David. That's what them heaters. those heaters, talking about those air conditioners in that tent. I had a little old 2-man tent, a little small Coleman tent, dome tent, and I rigged up an air conditioner in that thing, blowing in there, and I put the tarps over that tent real good and tight and staked down. Had one or two of it, and it hold that air in there so good that thermostat on that darn, I had to set it to keep from getting too cold in there. And man, I woke up one morning and I was freezing to death. I didn't have enough cover, and that air conditioner was pumping that cold air. And somebody during the night had come over and slipped a hand up in there. Probably was CP if I had to guess. I don't know who it was did it. But somebody slipped a hand up in my tent and turned that thermostat over as high, as low as it would go. And let the damn thing like froze me. You hang meat in that little tent. Boy, it was cold. I turned my light on and looked, and I said, "Damn, what is wrong?" I looked up there and saw that dial on the front of that little air conditioner sitting on 60. Damn, froze me to death.
Yeah, I need to check with Art. It's still cold in here, Coach. I don't know what the heck's going on. It's 29 outside. What's it in the house?
What's your thermostat in the house say?
It says 70. It sure don't feel like it, though.
I don't know who it was, CP, but it was one of y'all.
What's up, Ashley? How you doing?
I didn't say, hey, Ashley, I don't see it. Probably was Martin. I wouldn't doubt it wasn't Martin. We had an FBI buddy from out in Oklahoma. He come to a bunch of things. And he showed up in Greenville one time with a deer blind. That was his tent. He had a deer blind. Man. That tight was. Yeah, they got a hot tent. Yeah.
Them hot tents ain't cheap, that's for sure.
Mm.
Something about sleeping in canvas and having a fire in the tent that kind of worries me a little bit.
Yeah, but it's kind of.
They've been using them forever, though. So, all right, Coach, I'm gonna go. You get a refill on my beverage and get ready for the Hog Leg show. But it was nice talking to you for a few. All right, guys. I bet you all of these folks will head over there too.
Oh yeah, most of them going over. Thank you for coming in, Mark.
Hey, anytime, man. We'll talk to you later. Bye.
All right. Okay, guys, we're finna shut it down. Get ready for the hog leg, for Hog Head. If he ain't wrecked his truck and in the hospital. Appreciate y'all stopping in and visiting, and we'll do it again sometime. See y'all later.